Listen, how dumb are you? You hired me 4 times. You can go to William Morris and get the things, because I know you all are going to be looking for it.
And you'll sell a lot of books. And he did it, and it worked. Second book he put out, it was again, like 4 years later, he said, I might run for president. And again, he said, oh, I'm selling books, and it helps sell books.
Remember when Trump called himself a stable genius? Well, Howard Stern and Whoopi Goldberg just turned that genius into a court jester. They roasted Trump so hard, his spray tan probably melted off.
And you knew that when you hired me. I headlined, babe, at your casino, which I might have continued to play had you not run it into the ground.
I knew him. He had a great life at Mar-a-Lago. He was running around town. He played golf. He had a good time. And I remember, and I say this, the first time he said, I might run for president, he put out his first book.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. But here's the kicker. Trump's comeback was weaker than a wet MAGA hat. He called them has-beens, but let's be real, who's the real has-been here? Stick around to see how Trump's latest tantrum might just cost him his loyal fan base. Picture this, Trump at a rally, his face redder than a MAGA hat, screaming about Whoopi Goldberg and Howard Stern. What got his toupee in a twist this time? Well, these two celebs dared to criticize the Donald, and boy did he lose it.
He was calling me all through the campaign. I don't mean on the air, off the air.
For advice?
I think he wanted to touch base. He wanted my endorsement.
Knows.
Yeah, and I firmly believed that Donald did not want to run for president. I don't think it was serious. I don't think he wanted it.
Howard Stern, he's a weak. I dropped him like a dog. I did a walk-on for Whoopi Goldberg. Now she says, I refuse to mention his name. You know what? Politics can do strange things to demented.
Now, Trump's no stranger to lashing out. It's like his morning coffee, he can't start the day without it. But this time, Whoopi and Howard really got under his skin. They didn't just poke the bear, they woke up the whole zoo. Whoopi called Trump a middle finger to America, while Howard went for the jugular, saying Trump's not even a real billionaire. Ouch, that's gotta hurt worse than a bad spray tan. Trump, being Trump, fired back with his usual grace and charm. And by that, I mean he threw a tantrum that would make a toddler look mature. He called them filthy and disgusting. Really, Donald? That's rich coming from the guy who bragged about grabbing women by their, well, you know. The irony of Trump calling anyone filthy is thicker than his hairspray.
So foul. She was so filthy dirty, disgusting.
As it turns out, I was filthy. I was filthy. And stand on that fact. March, you hired me 4 times and you didn't know what you were getting? How dumb are you? He's now the president. I'm still not gonna say his name.
He was wild. I thought I was wild. He would come on. He would start assigning numbers to women and have filtered. He was talking about his daughter was the most attractive woman he ever met and how much he...
This is the same guy who thought injecting bleach might cure COVID. Talk about the pot calling the kettle orange. But here's the kicker. Trump's little temper tantrum isn't just embarrassing, it's actually hurting him where it counts. His poll numbers are dropping faster than his excuses for not releasing his tax returns. Even his diehard fans are starting to wonder if maybe, just maybe, their hero isn't as stable or genius as he claims. The result? Trump's approval rating among his base has plummeted to a measly 37%. That's lower than the number of Diet Cokes he reportedly drinks in a day.
I admit, I may not have spent as much time in a courtroom as you have. Because of people like you, a former prosecutor and legal expert can become a fixture on a show like this. And again, I'm so grateful.
But wait, folks, there's more drama coming up. Whoopi and Howard aren't about to let Trump have the last word. They're firing back, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. It's like a political roast battle, and Trump's the one getting burned. You thought the roast was over? Oh, honey, Whoopi's just warming up her comedy grill. Remember when she played in Trump's movie Eddie? Well, that's not the only history these two share, and Whoopi's about to spill some piping hot tea that'll make Trump wish he'd never called her filthy. Whoopi Goldberg, never one to back down from a fight, fired back at Trump with a zinger that would make even the toughest comedian wince. "I was filthy, and I stand on that fact," she declared, owning her past like a boss. But here's the kicker. Whoopi didn't just stop at defending herself. Oh no, she went for the jugular, reminding everyone about Trump's infamous Access Hollywood tape. Talk about a low blow. But wait, there's more. Turns out Whoopi and Trump go way back. She even hired him for a bit part in her 1996 movie, Eddie. Whoopi couldn't resist taking a jab at Trump's business skills, quipping, "You knew that when you hired me, I headlined Babe at your casino, which I might have continued to play had you not run it into the ground." Ouch, that's gotta hurt worse than one of Trump's failed steaks. Meanwhile, Howard Stern's gone from being Trump's buddy to his biggest nightmare. It's like watching a real-life soap opera, but with more bad hair and fewer good-looking people. Stern's not pulling any punches, calling Trump out on everything from his finances to his, alternative facts. But here's the real tea. These celeb roasts aren't just for laughs. They're changing the game in politics. When comedians like Whoopi and Howard start talking politics, people listen. It's like they're sneaking veggies into a kid's meal. You're getting important stuff, but it goes down easy with all the jokes. And get this, Whoopi's not done yet. She's actually invited Trump to come on The View. Can you imagine? It'd be like throwing a cat into a room full of rocking chairs. Trump versus Whoopi, live on daytime TV. That's not just must-see TV, that's break the internet TV. So are celebs the new political commentators? Maybe. But one thing's for sure, when it comes to taking down Trump, sometimes the best weapon is a good punchline. And with comedians like Whoopi and Howard on the case, Trump might want to think twice before calling anyone else filthy or disgusting. After all, in the world of comedy, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the roast. So, what have we learned from this comedy roast battle royale? Well, it turns out laughter might just be the secret weapon in politics. Who knew? Certainly not Trump, who's about as good at taking a joke as he is at keeping his hair in place on a windy day. This whole mess shows us that Trump's skin is thinner than the excuses he gives for his failed businesses. Every time Whoopi or Howard lands a zinger, Trump goes into full meltdown mode. It's like watching a human-sized orange balloon deflate in real time. But here's the real kicker. In the world of politics, a good punchline might just be the best defense. While Trump's busy tweeting insults, comedians like Whoopi and Howard are serving up some hard truths with a side of laughs. And folks, that's a combo meal that's hard to beat. Trump might want to take notes, or maybe just stick to his usual diet of fast food and fake news.